walked through this condensed version of the game. I thought for the most part it was produced well by the CW, so that's something. Feel free to throw out comments, concerns, questions, anger, let it all out. Happy to answer pretty much any question. I think the sound's now working for the stream. Let me know if it's not, and I can fix that.
Leary. A move at the 20. Breaks a tackle, and then taken down. Thrown for over 300 yards in each of the Yellow Jacket games this season.
I thought Lake opened this up fine in defense. I thought they tackled fine to open the game.
Top 20 in the
I was like, okay, cool. This is what I expected.
See what they bring forward.
Georgia Tech is 4th best on 3rd down.
I thought this is what you were going to have to do against
That'll
Georgia
come up
Tech.
short. Jamal Haynes
tackle, they're going to get the space.
Maybe a couple yards.
Cam, I didn't get to watch the game because I was watching the app. Oh, I heard the CW app was miserable about that. People didn't really know what to do there. Seeing people want Mitch benched, was it that bad? I thought collectively it was bad. I didn't think Mitch was just unplayable. I thought collectively it's bad. And the thing that, and we'll get to it when we go through when we go through this this thing is
short on the 11
there's a lot of stuff Mitch has got to do better. There's a healthy amount of it that I think he needs to improve on. Putting in another quarterback doesn't help them. Like, is putting another quarterback going to stop Taylor Marin from fumbling on like the 10-yard line on a punt he shouldn't be fielding? Is putting in a new quarterback going to stop Cam Height from getting absolutely obliterated on a bull rush? Is it going to stop the pick that one of the picks that he threw was the most astounding play I've seen in a long time from a DB. But there's definitely things that a different quarterback doesn't do. I think a different quarterback probably holds on to the ball for the fumbles from time to time. But some of it's just you're getting blindsided, man. Like that doesn't get help because what are you going to do? Throw it to someone that's being covered?
Morin, fair catch at about the 21
This is a everyone needs to do. I think Georgia Tech is a much better team. I thought Georgia Tech would be a scrappy team coming into this game, coming into the season. I didn't think they'd be able to put it together for 4 quarters, and they tried to not put it together for 4 quarters. But
find a way to scrap and win.
Threw for over 300 yards in the come from behind.
Find a way to scrap and win.
Mitch opens the game.
For over
That's
300
fine.
yards.
Why are all these routes so deep? Like I don't understand this. Basically, teams are just sitting on this tight end now for Wake, by the way. They're just sitting on that tight end. And this is the important part about a bye week. You get the self-scout, see what's going on. They've got to adjust to this. The safety valve is being taken away by teams. It's being completely taken away. You got to adjust to that. But you see the only really short routes are Jamal coming across the middle here. He's got someone on him. You don't really want to throw that. Every other route's 10-plus yards down the field.
Threw for over 300
it's
yards.
Fine, you get a first down. Great.
Against Old Dominion. First down.
That doesn't necessarily inspire confidence. It doesn't say that. It doesn't help your quarterback build because what happens if he gets hit right here? Now you're in 2nd and 10, 2nd and 13, 2nd and 14.
Catch 11
and things get a lot harder. It doesn't. That doesn't make sense to me.
Back in 06 in the ACC, they both have 77 career wins.
No cut. He cut him.
Griffiths. Pass up near the 45,
Fine.
and that
Yeah.
is career win.
I honestly don't understand why they don't run the same 3rd down play every time. It's not this, but
No cut. He cut
kind of get away with a DPI there.
Pass up near the 45, and that is caught.
Got the ball. It's
Taylor
fine.
Morin, and another first down as Sims made the tackle of Morin.
Brent Key has preached to his team all week long. One-on-ones. Who's going to win these one-on-one battles? Miles Sims has great coverage.
The strength isn't
you
there.
got to find a way to win that one-on-one battle and knock that ball down.
This is one. I posted this one on Twitter, and this one isn't on Mitch, by the way. If you put this on Mitch, I don't necessarily know. I also, it's not just the condensed highlights that don't show the score, time, or down. It's if it shows on the CW slide, because this happened with Bally last year. For some reason, the score bug just doesn't travel with it. It's really dumb. I don't understand it, but so this is something that I saw and was just like, this isn't on Mitch. So you come through here and you say, and this is a pretty standard Wake play. Height's gonna come out here and just basically just run a streak. When Mitch gets the ball, you start counting. You snap it 1, 2, 3. At 3, that ball is supposed to be coming out, and that's what he's trying to do. But because Spencer Clapp is playing on one ankle over here, he can't get the ball. Ends up being a fumble. Because where else is he throwing this ball to? Is the better question of, okay, cool, we'll get rid of the ball. He has maybe a touchdown here if he has a half second more. A legit just half second. Height's got this dude beat. He's going to get past him. There's no help over the top. That's supposed to be a touchdown play. But because your left tackle sat here and got edged within 3 seconds, the play is dead. And now it looks bad on Mitch because he's quote-unquote holding the ball too long. I don't understand what you want him to do at this. What do you want him to do? Like, the dude's about to throw a touchdown and Clapp just gets bullied. Like,
Scooped up by Wake Forest.
so that's where I go. Some stuff there that's definitely on Mitch. That one's not. That's Clapp shouldn't have been out there on one ankle.
The look on Dave Clawson's face, and there was
They take away the short route too, so it's not like you could have thrown it there. Can't throw it to receiver up top. Couldn't throw it to Banks on the far boundary.
oh,
He has a touchdown. The only thing you could maybe ask is say, break the pocket here. He has a touchdown though.
whole lot of that.
So that's
Right
that's
there in the face
frustrating
of
to do.
Griffiths the whole time.
They lost 6 on that previous play.
This was
Right
just a mess
there in the
from the start.
Face of Griffiths last
Yeah, this
week.
is just a mess. Like,
Was
I don't know what. Like, Mitch doesn't even call for the ball.
right there.
Pettibone just snaps it, and now Mitch just has to be like, oh shit. Like, that's where I start thinking, like, this is just an everyone problem, not just a Mitch problem.
Griffiths the
Everyone's
whole
not.
time.
They lost
not ready
6 on
here.
that previous play.
Look for him just to run it right here, man.
Griffiths feeling the pressure of being.
Just to
Yet again, who's getting edged here?
here, man.
Because also, where are you throwing this ball? The answer's nowhere. Do we not have the option of shorter routes at the QBC's head? There are some. They're being sat on. Like they're sitting on the tight end. They'll usually have one flanker over here. The big problem has been the O-line because now they feel like they can't block. They can't leak out the running back, and that's usually like another pretty good safety valve for them. But they don't trust their blocking right now, so they're having to put in an extra guy, whether that's Cam Height blocking, whether that's Justice Ellison or Damon Claiborne. Like, they're having to now lose someone because Spencer Clapp's out here playing on one ankle and Matt Golden isn't holding up at right guard, or Eric Russell wasn't holding up at right tackle. Like, that's where it starts snowballing from there. And you're supposed to feel some blindside there, but at that 3 second mark, that's where that's got to be, that protection has to be a little bit better. There's definitely times in here where he needs to break it. That one, you got to hold up for better than that. You got blown off the block, man. Like you got
Griffiths.
You got
Feeling the pressure.
This one,
For him just to run it
I think
right here,
I think he's supposed to break a little bit. I would prefer him to break, but you also have Clapp just getting destroyed.
Griffiths. Feeling the pressure and being as was near.
You get saved by that, but
First down.
that's where it's a little bit difficult because there are times you think, like, in a split second, okay, cool, I'm supposed to feel this and break out. You then start getting a little bit jumpier because now your quarterback doesn't trust your offensive line. So now you're going to start running into people who might back off and contain. So it's tough.
Up the middle.
I thought Ellison ran well last
Barreling
night.
his way
I thought
to 40
one of the
is
positives was
Justice
Ellison
Ellison.
ran
Very close to the first down. Maybe just first possession of the game for the Demon Deacs here in our first quarter.
So that worked just well last night. Worked great.
Looking for a lane. Ellison inside the 20 and down
When
there
impact
at 10,
screens,
and
and then
back down
before I do
the
that
Demon
comment,
Deacs.
I mean this is what I mean about the offensive line holding up sometimes and not other times. Like, look at this. This is picture perfect. Like, this is picture perfect. Absolutely spectacular. This is what you want out of this play. Jurgens gets this guy out of the way here. You see your front line holding up here. They're not getting ineligible been downfield in case you pull it. Justice Ellison reads this well. That's what makes it frustrating is you have plays like that where the offensive line actually does their job, and then you see the next play and you're just like, what the hell are you doing out here? Like, that's what's frustrating. What impact do you think Green's injuries had on the offense? I think they run. I don't think it really hurts them from a passing perspective because Green's not going to sit here and block for them. I think it hurts them from a running perspective because they're not able to run off tackle as much because the perimeter blocking for the wide receivers right now has been just brutal. But I think it does hurt from like an alignment standpoint. One of the biggest things that they've had problems with is guys just aren't getting aligned well, and that's an issue. Like, are you calling too complex of stuff? Like, are guys just like falling asleep in the film room? I kind of expect that a little bit from Wesley and Walker. I don't expect that from Taylor Marin. I don't expect that from Keyshawn Williams. I don't expect that from Jamal Banks. So I can't even call that coaching. What are you guys doing at this point?
Such a good job of
it's purely like a confidence. I think this team's confidence right now is shot. I think their confidence right now is just obliterated. And I think the bye week comes at a good time to just kind of go cry it out, go figure out what you need to do. But and that's where the play calling to me doesn't necessarily fit with things because there's not a ton of what they do that gives everyone that starts building confidence in everybody. It's not a quick rhythm passes to say, okay, cool, let's get Mitch in rhythm, or let's get DeMond in rhythm, or let's get Jamal Banks in rhythm. It's something that it's either the offense is the offense, which is a great thing sometimes, but bad when things aren't going well because there's no fail-safe there.
On the 13th play of the drive, looking left all the way. Griffiths lets it go, and it's too far. Looking for Morin in the end zone. Miles Sims.
One thing I do think Green's injury hurt though is the pass interference calls, man. Like, this team, these wide receivers have not played physically at all.
Both of his attempts against
that's been a little bit of a shock is how not physical.
And Wake Forest is on the board first.
People are clamping. I don't think they're expecting people to clamp down on them so much, and I don't think it's because they're running routes terribly or anything, or they're slow or not strong enough. I think they're expecting PI calls, and I mean, I think Connor mentioned it, but I've seen this like the past few games. These guys really aren't getting PIs. Like, it's starting to be more egregious for people to get PIs, at least for the Wake's offense, from what we're used to. I don't know if they've adjusted to that, both the wide receivers and Warren as well. Like, I don't think anyone's really adjusted to needing to say, hey, people are going to be physical with you. We've got to do something about that. Because that's been a stark difference for me.
Last week,
I don't think they're as physical, and that's great. Like, Donovan's like a physical freak. Like, that dude is a specimen.
Safety spot has been very big. There's Pointer in there. I wish I would.
I don't think Walker's as strong as Donovan. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing to say, but I don't think Walker's that strong. But I think you have Taylor Marin, who should be more of a slot playing in the outside. I think that hurts them a little bit because that's kind of a part of their offense that they're losing.
In all of this conference, without question. Watch 91. You know that King will be watching him. Floats it down the sideline.
This was tough. I mean, you just put a linebacker in coverage. I don't know a single linebacker that makes that play, but
you know that King will be.
I think Kalen's got to make a play here. That's somewhere where you're like, I think you put Kalen's got to break off his man a little.
Watching him. Floats it down the sideline. It's caught inside.
That's a good play call. The other team's allowed to do good things. The other team's allowed to make good plays. This is a key player.
Great job.
And the loss against Ole Miss for Georgia Tech. Takes a look. Lets it go.
This wasn't a touchdown. I don't care. This wasn't a touchdown.
Lets it go. To the
The dude does not catch the ball in bounds. I'm all for replay sucks. I am very much on that train. That ain't a touchdown, big dog. I don't know why that was never reviewed, but this dude never catches the football.
Their guy who leads the team with 2 interceptions.
How's Nick Anderson this year? I mean, it's been fine. I mean, he looked good against ODU. He looked good against Vanderbilt. I think eventually got to be a linebacker. I think he's just a step too slow for a safety.
Claiborne rushed for 165 yards.
Yeah, this is what you like out of DeMond. Like, sure, you actually get a push here. you get more of a push if Spencer isn't on one ankle. That's where one person can kind of break a play. That's really good. This is a pretty good push from Wake's offensive line. But because you have a one-ankled man right now, you don't get that. You don't get this, and now Damon has to make something out of nothing. Thankfully, Damon does. But
against Vanderbilt in that win.
That's how this starts breaking down.
Forest, and he has enough for sure. 4 yards and enough for a first down.
Explosives killed them in Oxford against Ole Miss. It's hurt them throughout the year, the second half against Louisville, and they especially can't do that when they got them dropped for nothing.
I thought this was great. I thought this was great on all parts. This is great.
Throughout the year, the second half against Louisville, and they especially can't do that.
You get a damn it, Cam Haight. Cam Haight doesn't really get a whole ton of his blockers, but these four guys, and Devontae does well here. These four guys do their job extremely well. Like this is a plus. I know Clapp picked up his ankle injury in practice a few weeks ago, but like Cam Haight has to do some growing up, and I think that's where this is going to have to start. I understand he's missed a couple weeks with a concussion. The biggest difference between this year and last year is probably right here. I don't think people were aware how strong Blake Whiteheart is. He's not deceased or anything. Like Blake Whiteheart was like one of our top 5 strongest people on the team. Cam Haight is more of a finesse player. He's an athlete more than he's a blocker. He's trying to learn how to be a blocker, and he was brutal on blocking all night.
For nothing.
But Damon does enough here. You see Clapp come back and actually seal the defender off. Good. Ends up
breaks up near midfield. This is
slow developing man. Once he gets going, those offensive linemen,
and then
until he
come
comes
back from showing great, and they try to pull Gordon, and this is just terrible.
Once he gets going,
this
those offensive linemen, they have the angles.
What are we supposed to do about that?
Not this.
Stuck.
Now you're in a 3rd and 14.
Griffiths on 3rd and long. Slings it.
You get it. Great.
That is.
I thought this was a great throw. I thought this was a pretty sharp throw.
Slings it.
But because it's 3rd and 14, now you have a 4th and 1.
Marker at the 40 to Morin.
This is the play I don't understand why Wake doesn't just run every single 3rd and 4th down. It has not been stopped a single time.
First time this season, Wake going forward on 4th down. They need a yard.
This play has not been stopped a single time from Wake. All it is you have a receiver that comes here and clears out two DBs because he's kind of being a pick play. One receiver just comes out to the flat here, and it's an easy throw.
They need a yard. They're going to get it. They're going to get more.
That's a flat.
Morin. 7-3 Georgia.
I don't understand that sometimes Wake just like to outsmart themselves. That's the play where I just physically don't understand why they don't run that every 3rd and 4th and short. They don't need to reinvent the wheel here. This play, where I'm making up a number, this play has like a 90% success rate. I honestly don't think I've seen that play be stopped for Wake. So
latter stages of our first quarter. 7-3 Georgia Tech.
Like the offensive line bump into each other. No one takes a blocker, takes a defender, and now plays dead.
First quarter.
Like,
hey, here's the
what are you supposed to do about this?
We'll kill any sort of defense, any sort of offense.
Wins against Elon and Vanderbilt, and last week against Old Dominion. That's at the
also
25-yard line. Wins against Elon and Vanderbilt.
Look over the outside.
Last week against.
I understand it rained, but people are slipping all over the field.
Elon and Vanderbilt, and last week against Old Dominion. That's at the 25-yard line. Short of. So after having not gone for it on 4th down the whole season.
I mean, you just get overloaded, and
after having not
again, I don't understand why. I put this one on Mitch a little bit too, because I think unless he doesn't have the ability to audible out of it at the line, then I won't put it on Mitch. But this is where I go. This is half on Mitch, half on play calling. You have a receiver wide open here. And I think, if you're taller, you probably don't get that bad down. I understand that. I'm not dumb. That's science.
Banks who made the catch.
We know this is being overloaded. Like we have a pretty clear indication that this is going to be this safety is sitting here like on his toes. They're bringing the house here when you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe an 8.
So
Like they're bringing the house here. You don't have time to do anything. Why are you asking someone to throw it over the middle? Why are you asking to throw it where all the defenders are? Just throw it down. Just call the play you've called every single time. Offensive line also, I know it's also an overload, but the offensive line also just does nothing with it either.
Now the offense is back in a 3rd and long.
King, 38-yard line. Key was Georgia Tech captain back in 2000, played in 4 bowl games for the Jackets.
I didn't think this team was great either.
Intercepted. Deshaun Jones returning it.
Haven't let him go.
I mean, this is good trail from.
That pass.
This is a really good play from Deshaun. I mean, I know it's an overthrown ball, but you gotta look at his position. Like, he's step for step, even like a step in front of this guy, so he's got him. It just ends up being an overthrown ball. So I mean, that's good for that's a plus on Deshaun. After getting beat, that's a plus.
With all of that speed, you know
Wake
the
does
secondary
fake
has heard
snap
a lot
sometimes,
about Singleton
but
all
I don't
week
know
long.
if they necessarily
haven't
want
let
to
him
do it with this
run
offensive
right
line
by him,
that's
and
already having issues snapping the ball on time. That's the issue. Is you get a little handcuffed here because I feel like you can't do certain things because you can't trust what your offense is going to do right now. That's an issue.
excellent job here by Jones. Puts a hand on the pads, little bit of a push off, no flag, and he watches it like a center, almost like between.
In that Demon Deacon secondary.
All right, you get an interception.
Griffiths feels the pressure. Throws on the.
I think Griffiths on the run is solid. I know the pick ends up being on a play where he has to be avoid a sack, for God's sake. I think Griffiths on the run is solid. Look at Matt Goldman here. Again, he did a lot better when he moved over to right tackle. What? What?
Griffiths.
And Damon just gets pushed over like he's a little playful. I understand that a coach said that Damon didn't miss any stuff last week against ODU. Doesn't pass the smell test to me. And it's in 4K. Well, I guess this is in 720p, but yeah, Damon's got to get better at pass blocking.
Griffiths
Just basically
feels the pressure.
This is a plus play for Mitch. He sees protection, doesn't lock on too much, breaks the pocket.
Griffiths feels the pressure.
Throws a pretty good ball to Wesley Grimes. I think that's plus. I think that's good.
And what appears to be.
See if Thacker brings another
Roll him out more.
blitz. He'll bring 4.
104 on third down. The edges will bend. Griffiths with the damn
Blitz.
Another time where you go, all right, let's start counting.
See if Thacker brings
ball.
another blitz.
1,
He'll bring 4.
2,
104
3.
on third
Can't
down.
even get the 3 before you get to it.
If Thacker
I mean, you just can't have Eric Russell out there, man. You just can't. I'm sorry, you just can't have him out here. It's been 3 straight games. You can't do it. Maybe see you next year, but he can't play the rest of this year. I don't think he can do it. I truthfully don't think you can play him the rest of this year. Every single time you turn on the tape, it's him getting edged or him committing a penalty. It's just not good. And this play dies. You can't even sit there and diagnose the rest of the play because the play blows up in 2 seconds. Mitch gets to the top of his drop and is getting hit. Like, sure, have this clock and understand that that's not even not having a clock. Do you have to have some sort of faith in your offensive line as a quarterback? Give the dude 3 seconds.
4 on third down. The edges will bend. Griffiths with the dance.
He also doesn't make the edge shoot anyways, because there's this guy's gonna get him. Like, so wouldn't even matter had he broken the pocket anyway. But this is like kind of the stuff where you go, the hell do you want Mitch to do at this point, or a backup to do at this point? The play is being blown dead in 2 to 3 seconds. That's unacceptable. That's completely unacceptable. And I'm sure Nick Tabak is saying that to his offensive lineman as well. That's completely unacceptable.
4 on third down. The edges will bend. Griffiths
you got
with
two
the
guys
dance,
on the ground.
and they get him. They get to Griffiths.
Play. Nice job by those guys. Touchdowns in his first 4 games. He's a freshman.
Bad
That
end.
pass.
4 games. He's a freshman.
Good play call. Bad end. Just bad end.
That pass. Jalen Garnes
Can't take that anymore on that.
That stiff arm's going to knock down one. Grimes as he stepped up and tried to knock him down.
6 different receivers now used by.
I thought Wake
down.
defended this team well. I thought they stayed in their gaps. They slid through their blockers. And they made the correct plays. I thought they defended it well against a team that's trying to test you. UT as a team tries to test how this is.
It's a great job.
I thought the defense, for the most part, did a good
6
job.
of 9 for 123 yards.
Come on, you gotta go to Finn.
That's out of bounds.
Got to be careful of quarterback draw here.
3 for 4 on third down. King throws it inside the 10.
So I saw this live, and
Medium.
I mean Connor O'Neill also mentioned it as well. I don't know who it is. It's on one of them.
Deep. You got to be
I
careful.
kind of lean it's on Jalen here, and because the way that this is set up looks to be that there needs to be at least someone, especially they're empty, so they're empty. It looks like that this linebacker Quincy Bryant is going to end up being some sort of a spy. He comes up to the flat and he can basically come in and take anything that's going to come off like that. So I'm pretty sure this is on Jalen.
For 4 on third.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is on Jalen.
You got to be careful of quarterback draw here.
Is just flat-footed here instead of being further back, and I think the way that this coverage is looking, there needs to be at least one high safety, and there's just not a high safety there.
4 on third down. King throws it. It's touchdown.
That first run right there by Justice Ellison, Tom. He's feeling it tonight.
I thought this is fine. Use his legs more often. Like that. This again is part of the thing of I don't understand why things are being called at certain spots because of your personnel. Like, I'm not saying sit here and run Mitch 15, 16 times a game. The only 2 times we really saw him run were a QB draw and
Griffiths.
when the play just broke down.
Lockett has the tackle.
That
Griffiths.
can't be.
Chains are moving on that
That
side.
can't be it. But I think the NCAA is the weakest. I think the Big 12 gives them a staunch.
You've got Nobby for using that.
Virginia's bad, but at least Virginia, I think, is actually like halfway competent. The record does show Virginia's biggest flaw this year is the fact that their schedule had Tennessee and Maryland on it, and JMU. You had basically 2 solid programs in the Power 5 and a pretty solid JMU team. Not like, oh, it's JMU or small schools. JMU's a good team. I've been riding that JMU train for a while. Your out of conference was just awful for a second-year team. Virginia Tech kind of stinks. I think Wake's going to run the ball well on them. I thought they ran the ball well here and went away from it from time to time because they feel like they couldn't block. Virginia Tech just can't stop the run to save their lives. It's bad. Louisville's solid. I mean, Louisville's undefeated, I'm pretty sure, unless I missed something yesterday. But so I think the Big 12, at least right now, for my money, would be I think the ACC is the second one. I think they're above Big 12, but
Slow
Pac-12
fish,
Pac-12
but
is
they,
great right
they
now.
call it
SEC
right
was
beside
kinda
as
mid.
well.
I like that.
Big
You got to
10's
remember,
kinda mid to me, too.
this is a guy, he's been in the system. This is his 4th year.
There's that. I think that play
His
that you're
term,
talking about,
which is
Lancer,
interesting. You
where
see a lot of college
it looks like everyone gets stuck in
Griffiths
Thomas.
got
He's
away
like,
to
oh,
the
cool, they pop
sideline.
up, and then solid throw.
Griffiths
It's fine.
got it away.
Waited his turn, which is interesting. You don't see a lot of college ball.
Griffiths got it away to the side.
See if Thacker heats it up. He's got 5 up there. Bring 4.
Griffiths got away for the moment. Throws it up near midfield.
I physically, this also counts as an interception, by the way. I have absolutely no words. Well, I have a lot of words, actually.
7 yards.
Let's see if Thacker heats it up. He's got
Just-
5 up there.
Left tackle, Spencer Clapp should not have been in this game. He should not have been in this game. He should not have.
Bring 4.
Clapp doesn't do anything with his guy, but Mitch actually does a good job of breaking a tackle and getting out of the pocket. That is an insanely hard throw, by the way. Like, that's not even being a Mitch pitch. That's an insanely hard throw for someone to make.
Got away for the moment.
Delivers a solid ball to Cam Height, who then just throws it. Like, it.
Near midfield.
I physically don't understand the physics of how this happened. Like, I don't understand the physics here. Oh.
Got away for the moment.
So instead of us sitting here being like, wow, what a solid play by Mitch, he's out here doing this. He's out here like, starting to maybe get his confidence here.
Throws it up near midfield. Pops out of the receiver's hands, Heights.
Like what am I supposed to do about that?
King, and now there's a marker on the field as well. There's
Like, I physically don't understand.
Plays. Well, that's his.
I understand he was wet, and but this play from Height just looks DOA from the beginning because he trips over like that's not a slip on a wet field. He just trips on himself.
Well, that's his 3rd.
Yeah, he just trips on himself. Slows down, but yeah, he just kicks himself in the calf. Like, what?
15-yard penalty and 2 and
Gets himself
1
back
play.
up,
So here's another
catches it,
look.
even secures it too. I just physically don't understand
With a nice route.
what
He
happens
goes
here.
to tuck it away. Nobody even hits him, Tom. That ball. Linebacker.
Like, this dude just looks disjointed.
So after
This was a good play. This was linebackers been great. I have nothing bad to say about the linebackers. Linebackers have been great.
So after the intercept loss,
4:46 for the defense. See if they can get a stop.
4 of 5 on 3rd down. The time for King.
I thought Witt
Just dumps
tackled
it off.
extremely
short
well in
of
this
stick.
game.
Trades a 4th.
Out of everything, I thought they tackled well.
Have everything off the field.
Shanahan will punt. Morin is deep. Has to move to his right end back.
Why? I don't understand
Track and
why
lost the
Taylor
football.
Morin tried to field this ball. Like,
To move
excuse me, I'll rephrase that. I don't understand why he tried to catch it.
to his right end.
You see it spiraling. Don't put your hands out, man. That's like the one thing you can't do. It's like the one thing you can't do, because if you don't catch that,
Lost
this
the
happens.
football.
Thankfully, you only
Down
get a
near
field
the
goal out of
10-yard
it.
line. And goal. Quick release to the end zone.
That's a mistake I expect a freshman, or so. I expect Damon
And
Claiborne
it's
obviously to do something
incomplete
like that
as
as a
Singleton
freshman.
Jr.
I do not
tried to
expect
haul it
that from
Nick Anderson
Taylor Morin.
on the coverage against Singleton.
I do not understand
Tight
that.
coverage by Anderson.
That is a
And
graduate
another
student. That is one of your
football.
smartest
And I guess
players,
here's
both
why.
on and off the field.
When you've got a quarterback that's feeling it and dropping it in there like we've
I
already
don't
seen him
understand
drop
that.
it to Singleton here tonight. This defense was up. So it's
So
a
cool.
3rd down.
You let him only get 3 here. What
1
happens?
for 5 on 3rd down. Griffith.
So it's a
Who's in the?
3rd down.
I'm pretty sure Damon got pulled after this game, but after this play, by the way, just doesn't do anything with them. And you look and see, you
Let's
go,
get
okay,
those
cool.
paws up.
What can
So
Mitch do here?
It's a 3rd down.
Where's he gonna go? Linebacker sitting right on Cam Height right here. Can't go here. You can maybe toss one up to Jamal, but there's a safety over him. There's a safety that's like he looks like he gets free here. There's a safety, I think, at about like the 50 or the 48. Can't do anything at the top. So this is where I go. I'm pretty sure this is third down. Would love to know what down this is.
That defensive snap.
I'm pretty sure this is a third down, and even if it isn't, even if it's a second down, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 5. This isn't a long play. You don't need 10 yards here. You need 5. You can maybe get 8 out of this.
A little bit shorter. Let's get those paws up. So it's
why are we sitting here running
down
plays that require Jamal to get 10 yards down the field and Key to get 10 yards down the field and Taylor Moran to get 10 yards down the field? That's insane. Like, you're sitting here, you already know your offensive line is playing up and down. You have understood that. Why are you sitting here and calling plays that aren't doing this? If you acknowledge that they're being up and down, the answer, you can have faith in them by letting them get confidence. And nothing about this inspires confidence, because you're sitting here asking a guy in Damon who hasn't blocked well to say, hey, you gotta do it now basically every time. Let him take on an assignment that Mitch needs to be able to get the ball out quickly. This isn't a situation where Mitch can get the ball out quickly. This is just a bad play call. This is just an insanely bad play call in every sense of the way. I don't understand why you're doing that on 2nd or 3rd and 5.
For 5 on 3rd down. Griffiths trying more backwards. 7 last year and 4 and 4 in conference play. Up the middle, high step in his way.
Football.
They're gonna run it.
So hard, his ability to throw it.
As we crunch
his
the
offensive line has got to grow up.
Run it.
They got to grow up.
So as they have.
So this is going to be a 48-yarder from Burr. First game of the season. The 35. Maybe.
Hook and ladder.
Now they are 15 yards. Forges forward. He's past the 35, maybe to the 40. 15 yards for Ellison at a first down.
Hook and ladder.
Now they are at their own 40, so this would be impressive on what should be the last play of the first half.
I take Cam Height.
Impressive.
Block somebody.
Last play of the first
oh my goodness. Block him.
Nothing. Got to go.
I feel like I'm being hard
safely
on Cam
on the play. The run from Ellison. It's another first down at 15 yards.
I know he hasn't had that much
30
game
yards
experience.
on the ground the last 2 plays.
You've got to
room,
engage, and that's not the first time it's happened.
Lead for Georgia
You've got
Tech.
to engage
someone. Football, especially by 50-year players, and defensively, just a coverage bust after coverage bust that they cannot have. But they're excited because they know they get the ball
way back. Bad plays down, calm it down a little bit. Well, here's a chance.
Now I'm like,
go in and catch their breath. There's a lot of time in the second half to come back. They got to keep working down the field.
And then you sit here and say, okay, and this is partially the play call, partially on the team. Just you think, and it's hard because you think they have confidence after you get 2 runs and you've got a first down. Now you think, okay, cool, we can start rolling.
A lot of time in the second half to come back.
It's hard because Spencer Clapp gets just annihilated, but you look at Cam Height again.
And catch their breath.
Again, the internal clock, you start thinking, okay, well, Mitch is holding on to it too long. Let's sit here and count how this happens. 3 seconds is when the ball should go. 1, 2, 3. Before you even count to 3, Cam Height is sitting in Mitch's lap. And before it's like, okay, cool, maybe Mitch can break the pocket and do this. Mitch isn't even at the top of his drop, by the way. By the time he steps into this play is basically dead. This play is just dead.
Go in and catch their breath. There's a lot of time.
I'm not understanding.
To come back.
And someone just said, why are you not feeding Keyshawn? I mean, a lot of times they have played the screen here, but I think this is one you gotta. You're having success by chipping away, but then they tried to go from chipping away to getting the big play in terms of the play calling, and I didn't understand that.
To come back, they got to keep working.
I just didn't understand.
Continues.
And they got 12 on the previous play and 18 catches to start the night and 3.
again, they just overload you this time, which, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against 6.
Grab.
So it should be you're fine on numbers. It's even.
And they got 12 on the previous
But you
play.
just no one
18
holds up
catches to
here.
start the
Ellison
night and
didn't
3
block
TD
well here either, which is a little bit surprising. But no one blocks well here. Like, what is this?
grabs.
Like,
And they got 12 on the previous game. Had 18
like Jerkins
catches
is
to
fine
start the night and
most of the
3
time,
TD
but just gets an easy swim move here.
grabs.
Boom,
They
play
got
dead.
12 on the previous play.
Now Mitch has to sit here and try to scramble. Jamal, stay on your man. Stay on your guy. This is where I thought. This is where I thought that missing Donovan would hurt. I honestly think if he stays on his man, you have something here. I don't know why he tries to come and get one of these guys. Get your guy here, man. You've got him.
The sideline, and he scamped out there for Georgia Tech. Wake Forest as Sims, who was down on the turf.
This was great. I think this is. I mean, you can't really do anything about the blocker coming off the edge. They just brought more than on that side than you had, and Justice just makes the guy miss. It's pretty.
For Georgia Tech, he's got 3 sacks in the game.
I don't think Justice had that in his repertoire, in his toolbox. I'm sorry, Justice. Wasn't familiar with the game.
Jalen King.
But this is where I think it's hard for the coaching staff because, well, it takes a play like that for you to get yards.
So big if they could put some points
Can we
on the
trust
board
this
to
offensive
start
line?
the second.
2 for 7 on 3rd down.
And it's like, and I think to myself, hey, cool, they kind of hold up here. I mean, it's 4 on 6. I would hope they do that.
Second.
And all Georgia Tech did was just decide to do the Clemson defense from last year of, we're not going to let you catch a touchdown. We're just going to sit here and play PI. And then you have this, which is the best you blocked all night. This is pristine. This is great from every single person here. They do their job extremely well. Every single person fires. He holds a bull rush off. 54 gets his guy. 67 gets his guy. 64 gets his guy. And it's just asking your running back to just waltz into the end zone. And you know what's even more impressive? Look at Taylor Morin. Taylor Morin has his guy and is blocking him extremely well. Everyone does this so well on this play, and I think that's frustrating for the coaching staff because they're sitting here like, wow, we can call this play and you guys do this extremely well, but we're going to call something in about 10 minutes and you're going to blow an assignment. There's just no continuity with how these guys are playing, and that's super tough. This was great. I like this. Simple stretch. Just get him out. Get him outside. Use what Georgia Tech does against them.
If King can get it into the belly.
How about this play too? How about this good Buster?
Play for Georgia Tech.
And the freshman, we saw him catch the touchdown pass earlier. Put his would-be tackler on his back, blocking for his guy.
Yeah,
earlier. Put his
that's hard.
Would-be tackler on his back.
Your pointer over pursues
for his guy.
Justice Williams can't get up fast enough, which is fine. And the unfortunate part here is you would almost prefer Justin Williams to be still kind of engaged with that guy. Like, you don't teach him to do that, but just how his play breaks down, you would prefer him to not have. That's the whole point of cut blocking, is not just to take a guy out, but now just spatially, this guy now has to figure out where he needs to go. He can't really go over you. He has to go around you. Makes a cut, and now
Haynes, elusive. Now has some space.
That's a broken play that physics just kind of ruins.
Watch Haynes King.
I think you probably want Wayman to stay on the outside, but he's trying to come in and help on a tackle, and so that hurts.
Watch him come wrapping back around. Haynes played blitz. Back in ice right now, Wormy. So a 3rd down and long, and here they come with the blitz.
King has been so good in this situation, but not this
long, and here they come with the blitz.
I thought this was fine.
King has been so good in this situation, but not on 3rd down.
Both the receiver and the corner didn't know what was happening there. So
punting situation for Georgia Tech.
Answer that.
falls, of course, deep.
This time, and this will be fun. TD from Claiborne. It's first possession of
They
this
roll Mitch
quarter.
out, and a good thing happens. That's a great throw. I don't care. That's a great throw. That's what we saw in camp.
Pushing TD from Claiborne.
And also what we saw in camp was stuff like this, which is why I'm confused. Like, we saw stuff like this in camp of not just Mitch, rolling out and making a good play, but them actually like doing this, which is why I'm confused on what has gone, like, why they've gone away from that. Is it because that Nick Sharp's hurt and Spencer Clapp's playing on an ankle? Like, what's going on here? But I thought this was great. Mon kind of gets bullied, but it's fine. You give him enough time. If you're going to run plays like this that are going to develop like that, take a long to develop, you got to do stuff like that. Especially with the way the line's blocking.
Beyond that 40. They got 20
you have a good
yards
play.
on that toss.
Good.
Full hands.
Batted down. Gotta keep it on the edge. And give him a chance to
This is the part where I go, I question if they have told Mitch to not run as much. I really question this because this isn't an RPO, by the way.
He's overtaken.
This is a full handoff. There is nothing RPO about this. Mitch has no way of pulling this. You're hurting yourself right now because it's the same reason it's one of the same reasons that Wake's offense last year would be stagnant on these third downs and shorts, because the offensive line kind of gets blown back. Sell doesn't really do a good job here. But the biggest thing is no one checks for Mitch.
He's overtaken him.
Like 97 kind of is supposed to. I don't know if 97 can get Mitch, but no one's checking for the quarterback running, and that was a big part of 2021. Was Sam wasn't that open, but at least they were like, you know what, we'll have you pull some of these leads, and we'll have you kind of go off tackle.
There's some meat on
That
this bone.
isn't
Be
here.
careful, Georgia Tech. Don't
And
give them a
now
freebie.
people can just tee off
Trying to
because
draw
they
them
don't.
offside.
Now you're playing 11 on 10.
I'm not
because
so
people
sure
don't
that
feel
I
like they
go
have to
for
do
it
this.
right here. I think I punt it down. And
Again, I don't understand why they don't run the same play.
Make a
that
mistake
they do
and
every
drive,
single
but they're
time
going to
here.
go for it.
For two.
And this is one where the protection breaking down once again takes away a touchdown. So we're going to watch this in slow motion because it's baffling. You're on 4th and 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against 6. You think, okay, cool. I'm supposed to. We got some numbers. You have a touchdown here. You have a touchdown. Five doesn't have anyone. Jamal has his guy burnt. But because the right tackle, and we're gonna watch this game in slow motion. Now watch the right tackle. Because the right tackle gets destroyed, just gets his hand swatted away. Instead of a touchdown, this play's dead, and now Mitch has to run for it. Like, that's what I mean about it not being on, some of this not being on Mitch, and the play calling being a little bit weird. But you know what? You drew up a touchdown here. You watch this in full speed. Jamal has that guy beat. Got him done. 5 has to take Cam height here, so there's no one helping him over the top here. This is a touchdown, but because your offensive line play is so up and down, instead of a touchdown, you are now off the field.
Edges bend. The marker.
There has to be some drill
Has
in
not
that.
been very successful at all. It's just putting Griffiths back there, letting him sit in that pocket. Get the field, keeping him in.
And that's where I go, I think it's frustrating for the coaching staff because they feel like they can draw up a touchdown, and they did draw up a touchdown. They drew up a great play, but I don't know if you're still able to do that because the offensive line just isn't
trying to
enough.
force turnovers.
On the CW.
Position battle.
So we travel to Chestnut Hill for our ACC Game of the Week on the CW. A pass inside the 40 is a completion. Junior.
Still able to provide the pressure. There's a 3rd down for Georgia Tech to start.
This is King on the run. Throws it down towards the goal line and it's
Malik
short.
gets kind of lost here, but that's a hard throw for anyone to make.
Throws it down
That's
towards the goal line and it's short. Hops the junior.
So he puts all the arm into it that he can. It almost turns into like a back shoulder for the freshman to adjust. Here's a fourth down.
This is great. This fourth down is great. You got pressure. You had a late blitzer. Biggest thing is all three of your corners here, and Nick Anderson.
Here's a fourth down.
Sticky. They're all sticky.
Fourth down near the 30.
That was great.
Incomplete.
Like you had it on the opening drive of the second half on the ground.
Riffus in a cluttered pocket.
Second half on the
This is one where it's on both. It's
ground.
It's 1st and 10. The hell, I am really trying, because this is going up on YouTube, and I really gotta not drop some words. The hell are you doing with this play call, first and foremost? What are you doing here, man?
Riffus.
Like, no one.
Like you had it on the opening drive
All
of the
these
second
routes
half on
are so
ground.
long. They're so long. Height doesn't even get into it until he hits the 45.
Riffus.
I can't see what's going on up here, but it doesn't look great. It looks like he's probably running a long comeback.
The season.
You look down here, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, Wesley's gonna fan out towards the boundary and keep kind of going on a streak. It looks like kind of a wheel to a comeback, so it looks like that he's just gonna fan out and probably land around here. All of these routes take so long. It's 1st and 10. Just do something with it. At this point, if you're Mitch, you got to get rid of this ball.
Riffus.
You got to get rid of it.
In a cluttered.
He sees Height, because Height actually comes in, and
Riffus.
yeah, Height actually is open. But by that time, your pocket's broken down, and that's on Mitch. Like, Mitch has got to take care of the football there. Like, he's got to. Why are these routes taking so long? What chance does he have to do anything? Because in theory, you think, okay, cool. About here is where he needs to be throwing the ball to Cam Height. The routes take so long. The pocket's already collapsing. Like, give your dude a chance.
In a cluttered pocket, scooped it up.
Oh, big fell into. Oh.
Open man, 15-yard line. Making a move down. 12
play
yards
off,
on
so
the
you
play.
That's the reason why Rutherford
Exactly.
was all alone over there.
Handoff.
Well, they tackled well.
Haynes near the couple of receivers out there. He's looking that way.
Ooh.
King gets away.
I've never seen that live and being like a 5-pointer
receivers out there. He's looking.
Just misses him.
That way. King gets away.
Bryce Gannis gets there. He gets enough of them that he starts stumping.
He's looking that way. King gets away. Slip your way. 3 yards over road win of the ACC November 19th last year. They beat number 13 North Carolina into the ACC.
And they have these in the bag. That's what's frustrating. They have plays like these that are just, these quick hits.
North Carolina.
Fine. They have them in here. I know you can't run them every down. I understand that. But it feels like they go to them and then just throw them away for 2 drives.
For head coach Brent Kean, he was an interim coach. He took over. They went 4-4 to finish that
but at least
season.
now you have some confidence. Okay.
And players playing hard for him, and Georgia Tech decided to keep him as the head man there on the sidelines.
What do you do with it? You block like crap.
Georgia,
like you have to see, like, Mitch literally has to look at his protection and go, the hell are you guys doing? And he's not upset and being like, you guys are failing, but it's there are 5 people coming for 6. There are 5 people coming for 6.
Keep him as the head man there on the.
And this might have been the one where Demond gets pulled, because
players playing
it's
hard
embarrassing.
for him. Georgia Tech decided
they overload the right tackle, which is a good play.
Keep him.
But Demond, instead of recognizing this, stays where it's a 2-on-2 and makes it a 3-on-2. But they're not even, these 2 guys aren't doing much in this, and Demond's not really helping anything. Demond's has to get this side. Demond has to, and he just doesn't. And the play's just dead.
Pressure.
The play's just dead. Mitch has to hold on to the football. That is correct. Yes, that goes without saying, but I'm going to say it here as well. Mitch has to hold on to the football.
Head man there on the side.
I don't know what to do about that. I physically don't know what to do about this. You have a running back that's just not good at blocking, and you can't not play him because he's a good runner. But the dude is just sitting here getting you killed.
Pressure.
Demond is literally getting you killed right now. in pass protection.
It was Wallace on that
actually
hit.
Just hurt, actively hurt.
3 of 9 on third down.
Demond gets pulled on this drive, and Wake never subs, but they pulled him on that one because they were like, you can't do that. Like, you can't just sit there and not do anything.
Game for Wake. Warren just had his 6th catch of the game. They're
And
going
they
to
come back and they end up having.
up the middle of the field. Warren.
And this is frustrating because they actually block this extremely well. They get a wide receiver block right here. Tackle blocks well, guard blocks well. You basically get 2 guys, but 77 helps you here as well. This is so well blocked. This is amazingly well blocked.
They're going to give it to Ellison. Ellison up the middle.
Do that more often. Every play can't be perfect. I understand that.
And down to the 42-yard line, 16 yards.
It's infuriating because it's just
big 55.
where does it go?
Michael Jurgens leading the
There's
way.
no consistency with this offensive line. This offense in general, but there's no consistency.
Griffiths got a little time. Clock's running out on Griffiths. Griffiths.
I once again am trying to figure out why on 2nd and 6 everyone's on a route that goes to 10 yards down the field. Jeez. Justice has to do better here. But this is where you start getting a bit antsy because you're like, okay, well, you can see Mitch starting to get a little bit antsy. That's what I didn't want to see. And because if he holds for a second, he has the outside run there.
Got a little time.
He's gotten hit.
Clock's running out on Griffiths.
17 billion times.
The integrity of that pocket is compromised.
They don't get out by. How about the Griff they've done? Nobody open.
Now it's
for
3rd and
Griffiths
longer
right
because
either.
of this.
3rd and long. Griffiths escapes the pocket.
Mitch, this is
a
a dime. I know it ends up being a PI. This is a dime. And this is probably Mitch's second best play. I would say this is second best play. But this is a 4-on-6, man. It's a 4-on-6. You got someone on the ground already. You got someone on the ground already. Your offensive line just doesn't hold up well here at all. And now he has to sit here and roll out like this. And delivers a dot. Like an absolute dot. It might be nitpicky. I think that one and the Jamal one later in the game, I think you got to catch those. I understand you obviously are benefited with the pass interference. I think you got to come down with those because what does this game look? Obviously, they scored a touchdown on this drive, but the Jamal one, does this game look different if they hit that big play to Jamal? I think so. Something to be said about stepping up in the pocket. When we're all rusher in front of you, I can't make Mitch make the decision to roll. I mean, he had to in this game. He had to roll out at some points in this game. And it's hard. Sometimes, I mean, you tell your quarterback that he's able to, maneuver around the pocket and roll out when he's able to, but you also take away half the field when you do that. So, in theory, if you're rolling out, you might be looking at it a less advantageous spot. Even though you're not getting sacked, now you have 2 less receivers to throw to. So that's where it gets hard, and it's like, well, okay, like you obviously don't want him to roll out every time, but if the play call just kind of breaks down, because what if you're rolling out and say on that right side, and everyone that's on that right side is running someone's running a streak, or someone has a deep post that's going across the field. Now you're in a pickle. So it should be something that's by design versus him having to do it just improv. It's fine if we can do it improv here because doing it improv here was really, really good. But it has to make sense with the route combinations.
Escapes the pocket. He throws it down the field. Leaping for the attempt.
Running plays.
The field.
Wow, you use your mobile quarterback to
handoff running plays
to do this.
3rd and short. They got 2. Dave Clawson says, let's go.
All 3 timeouts. Play some defense.
It also felt like, not that they weren't playing with urgency, but it felt weird. It felt like they were going slow. I didn't really understand that.
Looking to the end zone. Adjusting to the football.
In my head, that's a bad throw. In my head, that is completely a bad throw.
First, you got to get into that end zone.
That's a throw that Mitch has made, and Jamie has made, and Sam has made, and John has made. So at this point, it's no longer a bad throw. That's just This route is weird from
First
Wesley.
things first, you
He
gotta
sits
get
there
into
and
that
he
end
tries.
zone.
The corner doesn't bite on it, so Val Wesley has to win this route twice.
Looking to the end zone.
The corner doesn't really bite on it, but Wesley's good at that. He's good at making the hard catches. Easy ones you gotta work on. The hard catches, he does it.
They're delivering the football back, and look, this foot happened.
And this is where I think we all started to think Wake is going to escape death.
King.
You score a touchdown.
Too far for the receiver.
You get off the field on defense. Okay, this might be going Wake's way. We're probably going over.
Penalty, so a first down and 5.
Griffiths.
I think Jamal's got
time to operate. Trying to thread it between two defenders. Down inside the 15. 2 more.
I mean, I think you can. I think running for a few is better than taking a sack. Absolutely, it is. And that's something they got to work with him on. Is but also that's the part of it. Also, to me, is it feels like it is like last year where the quarterback is not being asked to, and I say not being asked, is basically told that he can't run as much as he wants to, because we saw Mitch break the pocket a ton but he broke the pocket enough in fall camp, way more than he's doing now, obviously. And I don't know where that goes. Part of it, obviously, you're live, you're doing it with the helmet in your chest. That's fine. But it feels like that they're trying to keep him. They want to keep him healthy, and they don't want him to take hits, and they don't want him to run as much. And I think that has been a little. I think that handicaps you a little bit.
3 at halftime, 20-3. Second straight
I
week.
think he needs to break the pocket more and work out of structure.
Touchdown yardage. Justice Ellis.
But I'm also not in the conversations with the coaching staff, and I don't know what they're telling me.
We already told you he's over 100 yards rushing. Banks with his 6th catch of the ball game. Moving quickly.
Oh yeah, Tate had to come in because Ellison
down to the 21-yard line for Carney. So Tate Carney earns a first down for Wake Forest.
2019.
Not that I think Tate's bad.
Short yard situations. They like
I
to
think
lean on the redshirt freshman.
you would have preferred to have Justice Ellison in on this drive.
Griffiths got away from that first wave. Gets rid.
The redshirt freshman.
There's so much that goes wrong with this play.
Tate Carney.
There's so much that goes wrong with this play. He's looking for the touchdown.
Lean on the redshirt freshman. Tate Carney.
Have it. He might have it. I don't think. Oh no. I think he's either he gets a little gun shy here because I think he wonders if the guy that's on Jamal comes over the top of Cam height. So that's why he pumps.
Freshman.
Now he's trying to reset himself, and this is where it's like you're holding on to a little too long. And I understand that one. Because I think you pulled the trigger there. I can't see. I wish I had the end zone view because I would really like to see what he saw there. But I think it's because he's not sure if that corner is going to come off of Jamal. So he's resetting. That happens, Sometimes the plays, you got to reset. That's fine. The hell is this, man? Like Golden, like we asked, like this is like this can't happen, Golden. Like that cannot happen. That's there's so many things, and that's just one thing that cannot happen. But Mitch escapes the sack somehow. That's on Mitch. Wesley's got to come back, but that's on Mitch. You gotta throw that one out of bounds. Live the second sack.
Got away from that first wave. Gets rid of it, and it's intercepted.
He does so much good.
Got away from that first wave. Gets rid of it, and it's intercepted.
And Grimes.
Heck.
And they try to come down here to this matchup. Johnson.
I think he has him if he throws it too, which is really get this off the screen. I think he has him, but I think he gets a little gunshot there, which is fine. That's a throw. That's not an easy throw at all. It's not an easy throw. But he gets away from death.
Able to slip out and on.
I don't think Wesley breaks back on this ball until it's being thrown.
Able to slip out and on the run, just trying to make
it's
some
still a bad
magic
throw.
happen and get it to Grimes
Still a bad
coming
throw.
back. ball and go me that sack. Let me tuck it.
Lift the door to the third. Well, fake.
Long one.
There's room right up the middle.
An offensive line
on the night. 8 sacks and
now Dave Clawson's offense has to act fast.
And Golden just doesn't.
Clawson's offense has to act
like, what is that?
fast.
Like, what is that, man? You literally don't give your quarterback a chance here. If you're Matt Golden, you don't give your QB a chance.
4 tackles for effort.
Because you know what? You can't padding aggressive football. that goes hand in hand. You can't patty cake and expect to force turnovers and sacks. For this Georgia, Wake Forest got to bounce right back.
Like, this is where this gets confusing to me, because basically now that the game's out of hand, it's just like now is the most decisive person
fighting for the 30-yard
able to hold the ripcord and run
on the clock.
That's where I go.
We'll be off next
what's
week,
that conversation been like? Because that's been there.
To 45.
And it feels like it's like, oh no, we're trying to
overtime
play.
game that Clemson was involved in before today in the loss to Florida State.
This is also the greatest interception I've ever seen in my
was
entire
involved
life.
in before today.
Hyperbolic.
To Florida State at home.
That's wild. That's not much.
Clemson was involved in before today.
That's an incomplete pass. I'm
lost to Florida State at home. Batted around, intercepted, acrobatic.
So we've gone through all of this, and I'm gonna switch this camera over. We've gone through all of this, and it's just, there are going to be some tough conversations this weekend. Well, this week they're on a bye. Going to be a bunch of tough conversations. I think there's going to be some tough conversations on the offensive line of it's put up or shut up. And there's been conversations on the wide receivers of like, look, we got it. You got to be better. There's conversations with Mitch. I don't think Mitch is in danger of being pulled, and I understand. I see all the tweets. I see everything. It's not that people don't think Michael Kern is good. There are things in here where you go, a different quarterback doesn't help that. Like, sure, a different quarterback doesn't throw that pick on the goal line. That's cool. A different quarterback doesn't stop you from taking these sacks, though, because I think a common complaint is, well, why aren't they getting the ball out sooner, and why aren't they just throwing it incomplete and just throwing all this stuff? I mean, are you just going to take incomplete passes every single time? Because that's what you're having right now. Is just you're missing a touchdown because an offensive lineman doesn't block for you. You're missing a touchdown because a running back isn't blocking for you. You're missing a touchdown because wide receivers are getting in and out of their breaks way too slow. You're having these plays that take 10 to 15 years to run. This offense needs to be quicker. It needs to be faster. Part of that is Mitch. Mitch has got to get the ball out quicker in some situations. There's definitely some stuff here that they didn't show where Mitch has got to get the ball out quickly. That being said, it's got to be called faster. Like, this can't be we've had 4 weeks of this now. You're now self-scouting during the bye week. At a certain point, I think you need to accept your offensive line isn't performing at the level that you need them to right now, especially without a healthy Spencer Clapp and especially without Nick Sharp. Because I think Nick Sharp I think the first couple of games we've saw Nick Sharp has been better than Matt Golden. I think that has been pretty clear. You were down a couple guys. That's fine. Injuries happen. You need to adjust. It feels like this is very much a square peg in a round hole sort of situation of the offense is the offense, and people are trying to, and Warren Giero and Clawson are trying to say, this is the offense, we're going to run it how we run, we're not going to deviate from it. And they'll deviate some, like against ODU. They sat here and instead of running a lot of stretch plays, they ran between the tackles a bit more. There are adjustments in that aspect, but there's not adjustments in terms of, I think, building confidence with these plays. Like because I think there are times with these plays it's either boom or bust. It's either you get a long gain, or it's 2 yards in a cloud of dust at best. That doesn't instill confidence in them. Part of these guys have to play better. There's no excuse. These guys have to play better. But there needs to be a better job from the coaching staff saying, okay, how are we going to put you in positions to succeed? We know we are really starting to learn what we can and can't do. And I think right now you can't say that you can consistently block for deep balls. That doesn't mean take them out of the playbook. That means, start limiting this. You see how far off these guys are playing on you, because they're basically saying they're daring you to block well enough for 3 seconds. Because they know if you can block them for 3 seconds, it's a touchdown. But they're betting on you not doing that. There needs to be this needs to be some quick hits. Like, you got to get people in rhythm, and you got to adjust to what people are giving you. That's got to happen. Like, that has to happen. It didn't happen in this game, and it just feels like this offense is trying to be so specific and say, hey, we're gonna do this. It's so rigid. Rigid is the word I'm looking for. It is a very rigid offense right now, and I don't think that can happen right now. I never thought it could have happened, because yes, and I think the idea was this. One of Warren Ruggiero's strengths for the last 7 years has been the ability to create and craft an offense that has worked well for John Wolford, for Jamie Newman, for Sam Hartman. All three of those quarterbacks, the offense was concocted, and before injuries here and there, worked and looked pretty different across all three. John was a lot more of an RPO style kind of guy, a lot of quick hits, would take off. Jamie was a guy that was kind of a bulldozer. He called his number more often than they wanted him to. They've admitted that. But it felt like it was kind of a smash mouth, in your face, and then we're going to bomb it deep sort of thing. Because Jamie wasn't really good at the intermediate throws. Like, Jamie's best attribute was the deep ball on his legs and shoulder. Sam's offense was more of a pro style offense, and that's what we're kind of seeing here a bit, is more of a pro style. Let's sit him and drop back and let him cook like that. That was what Sam's thing was. It feels like they're trying to prove a point for some reason, and I don't really know why. But it feels like right now that this team is pigeonholing themselves into like a pro style offense, where they're like, okay, cool, let's show people we can block for 5-6 seconds, and we're good at that. I don't think that's the case right now with this personnel, especially with you banked up, and especially with you trying to break in a new quarterback. I think you have to move this more towards the Wofford offense and make this more of a quick hit and use your quarterback's legs. That has to happen. You cannot shoehorn this into the offense of the last couple of years. These quarterbacks are too different. You have to make this offense more conducive to the personnel. That's the personnel at quarterback, it's the personnel at wide receiver, and it's the personnel at offensive line. You've got to make it conducive to those things, and that's not happening right now. I think you're wasting a really, really good defense. And I don't think this defense is, top 20, top 30 in the country. But this defense is like what you've been begging for the last 3 to 4 years. Like, imagine having this defense in 2021. Imagine having this defense in 2018. Like, I think you're starting to kind of waste a good defense trying to pigeonhole the offense into something they aren't. And I think that's the biggest problem right now. Is the confidence right now is low from the player's side. It's low. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I've seen stuff that they've done, and I know that they have a lot of quick hits, and they had these packages that they've been working on that aren't they're not top secret. Everyone kind of knows that. They have it in the tool bag. I just don't understand why they're not pulling it out. It's jarring. Like, I don't understand why I don't want to call them stubborn, but it's stubborn at this point. And that's got to get fixed and cleaned up before we come back from the bye. So, thank y'all for watching. Always have a lot of fun with these. And as always, go Deeks.